I want to read from a section of the first chapter of my book, I Spy, You Spy, They Spy. This is the chapter on Mata Hari. And it is about when she was an adult, but it was before she became Mata Hari. It is when she was still Magritte, and she was married to Rudolph MacLeod. Okay? And it's called, the section is called Night of Horror. The family moved into Abawara, a city in the heart of the island, Java. Magritte found Java enchanting. She simply loved its lush vegetation and the physical grace so common among its people. Unlike most of the wives of other Dutch military officers, she adored wearing sarongs like a native. However, the old problems of their marriage followed them to their new home, and Rudolph was often jealous as other men tried to flirt with his wife. Magritte wrote in despair, "My husband won't get me any dresses because he's afraid I'll be too beautiful. It's intolerable. Meanwhile, the young lieutenants pursue me and are in love with me. It's difficult for me to behave in a way which will give my husband no cause for reproaches." Rudolph's already bad temper worsened, and he was mean to servants and other underlings as well as to his wife. He openly took a native woman as a concubine and informed Magritte that such a practice was customary in this neck of the woods, so she would just have to lump it. He was often drunk and committed marital rapes. Magritte found herself pregnant during Java's dreaded monsoon season. Heavy rains poured relentlessly down on the country, making transport difficult and sometimes nearly impossible on its dirt roads. Thus, a frustrated, bored, depressed, often frightened and battered Magritte spent much of her pregnancy trapped in her own home. Probably in order to ensure her utter dependence on him, Rudolph flatly forbade his wife to learn to speak Malay, the language of the people of Java. Oh, just a minute. Got to interrupt this to put a do not disturb sign, so my brother or father won't knock on the door. It's hard for me to remember things. I'm pretty absent-minded. Okay. However, Magritte discreetly got around her husband's order. Like most things Javanese, she found the Malay tongue particularly melodious and charming. Magritte delivered the couple's second baby May 2, 1898. If she hoped another child would revitalize their marriage, the new mother was sadly mistaken, for Rudolph was disappointed at its being a girl. He named his daughter Jean Louise after his sister, but the child was usually called by the Malay name Non. After a year passed, Rudolph was called to Medan, Sumatra. He couldn't immediately take his family with him, but would send for them after he arrived. He dropped his wife, infant daughter, and toddler son at the comptroller's house. Yet again, Magritte found herself feeling like an outsider in the home in which she lived. Rudolph was slow at sending the promised support payments, so she also experienced the familiar guilty sensation of being a freeloader. Only now she had two demanding babies dependent on her. Despite their many marital woes, Magritte was delighted when she got Rudolph's missive summoning her and the children to his home in Medine. His residence was a spacious and well-built home, for Rudolph was now a garrison commander. As the commander's wife, it was Magritte's duty to give lavish parties, and this was a responsibility she undertook with aplomb. Okay. As Erica Ostrovsky in Eye of Dawn writes, Magritte could reign like a queen, dressed in the latest fashions imported from Amsterdam, a paragon of beauty and elegance. She conversed with visitors in their native languages, whether Dutch, German, English, or French, gave instructions to the servants in Malay, played the piano most musically, danced with unusual grace. The marriage of Rudolph and Magritte benefited enormously, for Rudolph was finally proud of his wife and grateful to her for the assistance she gave him in being a social success. Then their world came crashing down in a single night of horror.